Well, like so much of the rest of the country, our city got hit with two back-to-back pretty massive hailstorms just last week. And so now homeowners are doing the right thing and they're doing the wrong thing. The right thing is they're contacting roofing contractors and asking them to come check their roofs before they call their insurance company to file a claim. The wrong thing is for them to call their insurance company and say, hey, we just had a hailstorm and we need somebody to come check our roof. The reason that's a wrong thing is because you're filing a claim when you do that. So I've got about a half a dozen inspections to do right now, and so you can come with me to inspect these roofs. You can be my virtual roofing inspection assistant, and you can see whether or not did the homeowner do the right thing by not calling the insurance company. But the bigger question is, what does the homeowner have to do now? Should the homeowner file an insurance claim or not? There's probably going to be some clear-cut answers to that. There's probably going to be some gray areas to that. But you get to come with and see how it all works out. Well, there's a sizable mark right there, but it's an old one, not new. All right, for the most part, this roof looks pretty good. There was one hit down there by the ladder. Originally, I thought that was kind of an old hit, but I've been on this roof 2 other times just within the last few weeks, and I don't remember ever seeing that there. And then we've got this hit right here, which initially somebody looking at that could say, well, that's an old hit because we can see the fibers through there. But no, the asphalt is still black underneath. If it were an older hit, that would probably, well, not probably, that would be gray. And so it's kind of leading me to believe that we've got a little bit of hail damage on here. Now we just need to look around and see if there's any insurable damage, which it's not looking like there is. So when I'm on a roof that has what I would call just like, I don't know, borderline hail damage, I mean, that's definitely a hail hit there that wasn't there the last time I was on the roof just a couple of weeks ago. But I want to look at the metal on the roof because that's gonna give evidence of whether or not there was damaging hail that hit this. And this, it has a couple of dings in it, but it's not really marked up. And this box vent, it's got some splatters on it, but all that just means is that the hail has knocked the oxidation off of the surface. But you can see we do have one hit right there, but the others are not marked up at all. So my conclusion on this one is there's a little bit of hail damage on here, but it's not anything that the homeowner should file an insurance claim about. This homeowner did the right thing by not filing an insurance claim. So why would I not tell the homeowner that they need to file an insurance claim? Well, number one, it's because they didn't have enough hail damage. Pretty much any insurance company is going to come out, if the adjuster comes out, he's going to want to see a certain number of hail hits in every 10 foot by 10 foot square he draws. He usually will draw one on every major roof slope. And that roof just didn't have it. So that homeowner, if he or she had filed an insurance claim, probably would have gotten a denied claim, which leaves that person, that homeowner, then with what's called a zero pay claim or a claim without pay on his record. So that's why it's a good thing that homeowner didn't call his insurance company and file a claim. And that's also why I would not tell that homeowner to file a claim, even though there were just a few hail damage shingles on the roof. All right, just got to the next house, and this is in a neighborhood that has roofers' yard signs in almost every yard. And so I'm expecting that this one is going to have insurable hail damage on it, but just because this is a lesson, right? For you as a homeowner, just because that there are roofers' yard signs in your neighbor's yards doesn't mean that there's actually insurable damage on the roofs. Some door-to-door canvassers who don't really practically know very much about inspecting a roof will use the spaghetti approach, meaning let's throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. So sometimes they'll go through a neighborhood and they just are hoping that they'll get a favorable adjuster to get the claim and hopefully get a roof out of the deal. And so you as a homeowner really need to be careful. You should be careful with your insurance claim record, just like your credit report, because the more claims that you have on the record, on your record, the more that can actually work against you in the future if you ever want to try to shop around for a different insurance company. So for now though, let's go ahead and climb up on this roof and see what's going on. This one, the hail damage is very, very evident. No need to chalk this up to be able to find and identify the damage. I mean, it's pretty easy to see, and you can see how banged up the metal is. So this one's pretty much a slam dunk with filing an insurance claim, and should be a slam dunk as far as approval for the claim also. We've determined that yes, this roof does have insurable hail damage, and I think that the homeowner should file a claim to take care of it, because some of this is pretty extensive damage. So as a roofing contractor, the next step that I should go through is start documenting the accessories on the roof, getting photos of the box vents, making sure that we've got evidence that those are damaged. And I'm actually going to measure the pipe jacks also, because we have what we call our leak stop pipe jack that we recommend to homeowners. Another thing that we want to do is inspect the gutters to find out if there's any damage on the gutters, because if those end up being part of the claim, we want to be sure that we're ready with our proposal for a cost of replacing gutters and or downspouts if those are necessary. And then you can see that there's a shed in the backyard. We've got to inspect and measure that too, just in case that it gets included in the claim. This little white strip right here, this tells me who the manufacturer of this shingle is. And I have to confess, I am having an internal debate whether or not to name the manufacturer of this shingle. But if you go watch that other video, it's one of those three. I'll just put it that way, okay? So this strip tells me who the manufacturer of the shingle is. Let me show you something else. This white mesh on here also tells me that this is a class 4 impact resistant shingle. Okay, so that house definitely needs to have a claim filed on it. And that roof is only not even 4 years old. I checked the last permit that was pulled on it. And it's possible that this homeowner paid for an upgrade to the impact resistant shingles. And this is the first hailstorm that's hit this neighborhood since this roof was installed. And they did not get their money's worth if they paid for an upgrade. If they didn't pay for an upgrade, that's another kind of key factor to consider, is roofers can tell a homeowner, well, we'll upgrade you for free to an impact resistant shingle. Well, you get a discount from your insurance company for that, possibly, but what good does it do you if they upgrade you to a product that doesn't protect you from the next hailstorm? Got to think those things through. All right, well, here is my put up or shut up moment, because this house that I'm about to get on is a house that we re-roofed back in 2016, and we installed my favorite shingle on it, the Certainty Northgate. So this is the first hailstorm that's hit this house, actually second hailstorm, I came out and looked at it once before and there was no damage. So, okay, I'm kind of nervous, especially after my rant on that last house. I have to admit, I had some butterflies in my stomach when I pulled up to this house and realized that this was one that we re-roofed with a Certainty Northgate. But I am super pleasantly, not surprised, but just thankful, I guess, that I get to report to this homeowner that he does not have to file an insurance claim because he doesn't have not even one hail hit on his whole roof. Whereas the neighbor right over here, from this roof, I can see all the hail damage on his roof. And so the metal vent cap on here is banged up, so evidence that there has been some big hail up here, but his roof is in good condition. He doesn't have to file an insurance claim. He doesn't have to make another deductible payment. He doesn't have a claim on his record. All the way around, this was a win for this homeowner, for Homestead Roofing, and even for Certainty, who proves that their product really holds up. So now it's time to get on the next houses, and this one's in a neighborhood that got hit pretty hard. As a matter of fact, I'm looking across the street here at a house that's got 2 skylights that are tarped up, and just last week, in the middle of the hailstorm, my assistant and I were up on a roof tarping skylights that had gotten smashed and broken, and that was just a couple blocks away from here. So I'm kind of expecting that we're going to see some hail damage on this, but let's get up on the roof and take a look. A black shingle. That can always be challenging, finding hail bruises on a black shingle. Now ordinarily, I don't like to chalk up a roof before an adjuster gets there, because I like them to be able to make their own marks and not have their photos have my marks in them. And usually what they're going to do is they'll circle a mark. So I like to just put a little dot next to each one. But I don't know if you can even see this one, because it's, like I say, finding hail damage on a black roof can be a challenge. But kind of the key is that if you find a spot that looks suspicious, if you can dislodge granules, okay, like this, if you can dislodge granules, that means that typically something has impacted that and loosened the granules. Because if you try to rub granules off on a spot that is not impacted, nothing is going to happen. But here you can see it pretty clearly. Now, if you're a homeowner and you want to do this, you want to get up and inspect your own roof, there's one safety tip. Well, there are a lot of safety tips, but there's one safety tip that I want to give you, and I need to give this to roofers too, because I know roofers disregard this all the time. Don't walk backwards down the roof. So a lot of times guys will start up at the ridge and they'll start working their way backwards. That is a really easy way to trip on a pipe jack or some other roof accessory and come off the roof. Always start at the bottom of the roof and work your way up. All right, so in my opinion, this roof does have insurable damage. This homeowner has not filed an insurance claim yet, but I think this homeowner could file an insurance claim. Now, I'm going to qualify that by saying that the hail damage up here is just not very significant. So if this homeowner decided that he or she wants to wait and just kind of ride it out, ride out the lifetime of the roof, I honestly don't think this homeowner would be making a bad mistake. But here's the complication with that. If this homeowner ever decides that he or she wants to sell the house, then this hail damage is going to come up in any buyer's inspection report, and they're going to have to address it then. And by then, it might be too late to try to file an insurance claim, especially if they change insurance companies. Their new insurance company isn't going to pay for past hail damage that wasn't covered under that policy period. So, this is one of those where I would tell a homeowner, if this is your forever home, then I think you're okay. If you're never going to sell the home in your lifetime, then write it out if you want to, because then that way you avoid a hit on your record and you avoid having to pay a deductible payment. But for the most part, this is insurable damage, and I would recommend that this homeowner file a claim and get it taken care of, so that way they don't have to do it out of pocket at some time in the future. One of the things that adjusters look for, and one of the reasons why I think that this is insurable damage, is because there's damage to some of the rooftop accessories. The box vents are broken, the ridge cap, that's a blooper. Okay, so the ridge cap is beat up, and there's some dents on the furnace cap. So all of those things inform an adjuster that yes, there has been significant hail that has hit this roof, and I do believe that this would be an approved claim for the homeowner. Last house to look at today, and already there's some indicators in this neighborhood. I'm seeing tarped skylights, lots of leaves on the ground from the trees. So I am expecting to find damage on this house, but who knows? I guess we'll see. Great. There are hornets somewhere in one of these eaves, or maybe in this valley, I don't know, but I saw them flying in and out of here. And another black roof. So this one's a little bit more of a challenge even than the last black roof, because this one has a lot of just the granules missing off of it. Now, a lot of times an adjuster might not acknowledge that that is a result of a hailstorm, but in this particular instance, I think that it's easy to demonstrate that this is from the hailstorm, because there's a lot of granules on the ground. There are actually spots, even though they're hard to find because it's black granules on top of black asphalt, I do think it's pretty easy to find where there are actual spots where the granules are missing, which would indicate the impact of hail. I don't think there's any question what this homeowner should do. I think there's easily demonstrated hail damage on this roof. I think this homeowner should file a claim. It's probably going to end up including the roof, maybe the gutters, might even include some painting on this one. But the big thing that the homeowner needs to do before filing an insurance claim, like I've said before, is find out what his deductible is and find out what his coverage type is. Full replacement cost or actual cash value. That might weigh in on his decision on whether or not he wants to file a claim for this. Hopefully, you as a homeowner have learned something. I hope that you've learned that it's really important that you not call your insurance company and ask your insurance company to send somebody out to look at your roof, because that could result in a claim on your record, but even worse, a claim where you don't get any benefit from it. Then the second takeaway that I hope that you get from this is that, like I've said a few times in this video already, is that you have to know what your deductible is before you file the claim. So call your insurance company or read your policy. If you can't understand what your policy language says, call your insurance agent, ask what your deductible is. You know why this is so important? I just talked to a lady whose roof I looked at last week, and she said that she called her insurance company before filing the claim, and she found out that she had been changed from a flat $1,000 deductible to a percentage deductible, 1% deductible, which means it's 1% of her home value. So now instead of having a $1,000 deductible like she thought, she has a $3,500 deductible. Now, we've got other videos explaining how insurance companies do this and why it can happen to you. We'll link to those. But you've got to know what your deductible is, and you have to know what your coverage type is. So if you want to find out why you need to know these things before you file a claim, click on this video right up here. And if you need more information about insurance claims and the roofing process, click this playlist right down here.